Hello, everybody. I am Mickey. I am Not Your Mama's Minister. And even though we usually do take on subjects that people get sensitive about and have tender feelings about, I'm going to do it again. Sorry, not really, but I really want you to listen to this. So yesterday, a client contacted me and said, listen, Mickey, I have no idea what to do in this situation. I have this long-term friend that has been doing nothing but preaching to me and saying that I'm living my life in a way that would not please God. And this client is a Christian. And so, this was a super duper sensitive thing. And so I was like, well, here's what it comes down to for me, because you know that you and I have different beliefs. But what it comes down to for me is, if you aren't hurting anybody else, if you are not doing anything to somebody else that imposes your will on them, then I have a hard time with somebody saying that you're not living your life in a manner that God would approve of. Because in this specific situation, all we're talking about is going to church. Well, you should be going to church. You should be joining in with the church groups. You should not be working on Sundays. You should not be doing anything that the Bible says that you shouldn't be doing. You should be raising your children in the church and so forth and so on. Now, going outside of the supposed holy books that whatever God wrote or inspired humans to write, there's one really clear and definite, for me, problem with this situation. And that is that my client believes wholeheartedly that God is directing her down this path. So the job that she has, the education that she has, the way that she raises her children, etc., etc. She feels very strongly that God is leading her down this path, and God is showing her the direction that she needs to go with each step of her life. And of course, because I am a spiritual advisor, I wholeheartedly agree that people need to pay attention to where whatever they believe in is directing them, whether it's the universe, whether it's what the needs of humanity are, whether it is whatever deity you worship or whatever entity you ask for guidance. It doesn't matter. I do believe that each individual recognizes those signs or recognizes that direction, recognizes kind of, oh yeah, I'm definitely being steered this way. And so I think that for me, the problem with this whole situation is that my client is being told to go in a direction that her God, that she worships, that she has a relationship with, she is being told by somebody that she cares about that, oh, well, God's not actually directing you down that way. Now, I want, before any of you smartasses decide to say, well, what about those people who say that God is leading them to kill somebody? Like I started off, if you're not imposing your will on somebody, if you're not hurting somebody else or yourself, and sitting there saying that one of the gods or whatever entities directed you to that, then nobody should be saying anything to you about it, because you don't know what their conversations with their guides, their spirits, etc. are. You don't know what they're being directed to do. You don't know. And yes, we can go by the Bible, we can go by the various other holy books that there are, but when it comes down to it, what is it that I'm constantly pushing for? And that is that each individual, rather than taking somebody else's word for it, that God said that you need to do this. God said that you need to not work on Sunday, or God said that you should be going to church every Sunday. Because I've heard from all the gods, including the Christian God, that they hate fucking churches. They think churches are stupid. Why in the world would you have a building that you would sit there and use for nothing more than just worship, rather than actually doing things like, I mean, let's talk about the what's it called? Oh shit. The trying to make people who are gay not gay anymore. The gods are like, wait a second, why aren't they using the churches instead of doing something to change the way that people are, that people were made, that people were created this way? Then why aren't they providing that space as a safe space for children who are gay and lesbian and other, that their families have kicked them out? So that's what your God is saying. And so like, I don't know where you're getting your information that you gotta change people, but that's not actually what I get. But going back to what I was saying, I think that when somebody sits there and takes it upon themselves to say, well, you aren't following the teachings of God. Well, who says? Because God fucking told me to do this. So what are you talking about? God may be telling you to go to church every Sunday, or God may be telling you to raise your children in the church, but he's not telling me that. He's telling me that I need to work and support my family and follow my passions in life and what I want to do with my life and make sure that my children are safe and so forth and so on. So, it's a slippery slope when we sit there and we say, oh, well, the gods said that you need to do this. Because as far as I'm concerned, when the gods are speaking to me, then they're just telling me what I need to do. They're not telling me, well, you need to fix so-and-so. And so, I think that's it. And so when you are preaching, when you are afraid for your loved ones' souls, whatever it is. I know that my mother used to say that, but I'm so afraid for people's souls. And you need to remember that God's got that shit, whatever God it is that person is worshiping, they've got that shit. They're going to make sure that person does and goes down the path that they need to go down. So, who are you? Who are you to think that you can interpret what the deities tell each individual person based on signs and feelings or even conversations with their God? And so if you are sitting there and passing judgment based on what you believe that God would say to you, then you need to reevaluate your faith. I think that's it, and much love, many blessings, and I hope to see you soon. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment.